Hi guys. So I wanted to show you something new that I am adding to the garden this year. This is not a green stock. This is a 3-pot stackable pot from the Dollar Tree. I paid $1.25 per 3 cell, I don't even know what to call them, but per 3 pot holder thing. I'll show you in a minute. But it's one pot that has 3 different sections. And you know, not everybody can afford a green stock. Someday I would like to get one. That day is not today. So I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought 15 of these. Now I'm only going to stack them 5 high, but you can stack them taller and then put like a dowel down the center or a T-post or something, rebar, to stabilize it. But since I'm only stacking 5 high, I'm not going to do that. So this one here, I went ahead and planted strawberries in it. As you can tell, I still need to get more strawberries. But I have a whole bunch over here, and so I'm going to throw this together really fast, and then my second one is going to have like lettuces and stuff like that in it. The third one, I'm not exactly sure what's going to be in that one. Excuse my dogs, they're right outside the greenhouse playing. Yeah. Every time I go to film, that's what happens. So anyways, I'm going to set these up. Let's get to it. So I'm just going to come right down here on the ground and sit and do this with you. So I got 5 greens and 5 terracottas, well 10 terracottas, but so I think this time I'm going to go ahead and work with the green ones. Now, on the bottom of these, as you can see here, it has like 3 sections, and then you take this section and you just rotate it, and it basically kind of sits on top of itself like that. Yeah, it is not the sturdiest thing. That's why you can put dowels on them if you plan on going higher. But I do not, and I have filled the other one over there, and I can lift it up and it doesn't move. So when I go to take that outside, or you can just take the sections off too. So it's really not that big of a deal. But as you can see right here, there are 3 little sections on each one that have perforated circles, and those need to be popped out. So I just take a pen and just kind of push it from the inside. Let's see if I can show you, but these things go flying. Like if you push on them, if I can push on it. Here's my other. Or they break like that. Because, which it's still not a big deal. It just cracked a little bit, but let me find my Sharpie pen. That one was a better. Alright, I found my Sharpie. That one seemed to have worked better. I'm going to be really careful about this side here. Slater, can you move? But I'm not even going to worry about this one right now. I'm just going to pop these ones out. But if you look, let's see if I can do this one without it breaking. Let's see. I don't know. When I did the first one, those things were flying everywhere. So let's see if I can. I don't know. Anyways, so I guess we'll just come from the outside. Doesn't look very good for me, does it? But I guess I'll just come from the outside here and just take my pen and sort of pop it out. Now they do get stuck in there if you go that way, so just come in and remove them. this section right here is the part that I was talking about, that you can drill a hole if you want to stack them, and then they'll kind of just stay standing. But I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to come through here and pop the rest of these off. Now I figured it out. So I'm just going to hold each one kind of like this, holding the bottom here, and then just taking my pen and just, you got to find the right spot, because otherwise it will just break the bottom. But if you find the right spot and you push in on it, they just pop out. I don't know why this one is being so difficult, this green one. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these and then move on to the next step. Alright, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead, and another little trick that you can do is, if you have them, which I don't know if I have enough of them, is you can take a small pot and fill in this gap area, because you don't really see it anyways. So that way you're not wasting as much dirt in this area here. I'm going to see if I can find some small pots and show you what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm talking about here. If you want to kind of save on a little bit of dirt, you can. And then you just stick this pot in here, and then you just fill up these 3 sections right here, which is what I'm going to do now. Alright, so I'm just going to come in here and just sort of start filling up each little section. And I'm going to put lettuces in here. And this is just some potting soil, not even potting soil, but some mulch that I have, some compost that I made. So it's, you know, it's got stuff in it, which is not a big deal. It's all organic matter anyways, right? So I'm just going to fill that up. Slater! And then just kind of tuck it around this little cup here. Like this. And eventually these are going to go outside in the garden once it's complete. But for now, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these filled up, and then I will show you what I'm doing next. And something that I learned from doing the strawberries, don't do what I just did. Don't overfill them, because you're going to be taking out some of that dirt anyways to put the plant in there, and then it just becomes messy. So let me take some of this out. Then you can always fill it back up later, but all right. So my first section is done. For the top one, I am not going to add an extra container in there, just because I'm going to see it from the top and I want it to kind of look complete. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this one up normal. And again, I know these are cheap. They might not last very long, but I think that they're definitely worth it, because I paid, what, $6.50 or something per tier or tower that I'm going to put together, and I'm okay with that, because it gets me growing vertically. Alright, so that is that. So I just laid all of my pots here on the ground. You could stack them and then put the whatever you want to put in there, and I still may do that, I'm not sure, but I need to find a spot for those, so you can see all my seedlings. are taking over, rightfully so. But these right here are the lettuces that I'm gonna take out of here and I'm gonna put inside my green containers that we just filled up. So let me clear off a spot for this to go and then we'll get to assembling. I just love coming out here every day, or, well, quite frankly, 100 times a day, and seeing the growth that the seeds do over a matter of like hours. It's really, really cool. So this morning I came out and the golden beans, the golden wax beans that I have, you could just tell that they were getting ready to break through the surface because there was a mound. Well, I've been out here a couple times and over time you can see it coming up. So I'm going to show you really quick what it looks like right now. So right here is the golden wax bean. You can barely see it popping up. And there's another one over here. This is a spaghetti squash. You can just barely see it popping up there. So in no time at all, those two are actually going to break the surface and their leaves are going to show themselves. For now, I am going to put all those pots up here next to this other strawberry one right here and get to assembling it. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to just slowly and gently take the plants out and then put them in here as I stack it, so I can just kind of go through and backfill it a little bit. I need to grab a spoon so that I can carefully get out my lettuces. Got my spoon. Okay, what I'm going to do for the top of this is, because I don't have any more plants to put up here, I'm just going to grab some seeds of different lettuces and just kind of sprinkle them up here. I could probably put more than I normally would just because this is the very top level and there is no cup in the center, so it's all dirt. So I'm going to throw some seeds in here and see what happens. I'm just going to come back over top of these little seeds and just put just a very little bit of soil on top of them. They don't need much because they are super tiny, and I'm not going to pack it down. I'm just going to make sure that they are all buried. And just like that, I have a very inexpensive version of a green stalk. And again, this may not last but one season. I'm totally fine with that. It is not the highest quality. The plastic is pretty thin, pretty flimsy. Keep that in mind. But if you can't afford to get a green stalk, or you don't even have a lot of space and you just want to grow vertically, I definitely would recommend doing something like this. And like I said, if you keep it pretty short, like I'm doing 5 tall, if you keep it pretty short, it's not going to fall over unless you bump it, of course. But it's pretty stable. This could fall over, but because I don't plan on bumping it, I don't think that it will. And then when I want to go move this outside, I will just take each tier off and then reset it up outside when I am good and ready. I just want to take a moment to show you how well my lettuce stackable tower is doing. It's doing really, really well. I'm going to go ahead and turn around the camera and show you the progress. So this is the progress of the lettuces that I put in here, a couple spinaches, and then the sprouting lettuce seeds that I just kind of put up there. But yeah, look at this. It's like, it's pretty awesome. I'm happy with it. So as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me in the greenhouse, in the garden. I appreciate it, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.